and thank you for tuning in to Redeeming Time. Contentment. Paul said in Philippians chapter 4, he said, I have learned in whatever state I am, therewith to be content. Contentment is something that we learn. We learn to be content. But he says in 1 Timothy, in chapter 6 and verse 6, he says, godliness with contentment is great gain. Goes on to say, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. And this verse of Scripture most of you have heard. For the love of money, or the desire to have money, leads to all kinds of evil, which while some coveted after have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. I think about some of the folks that we hear about who have great wealth and fame, as the standard of the world would give them fame. I just read something about the bear. I believe that was his name, the one he had committed suicide. And I've got an article somewhere prior to his death, that he had written how lonely he was and how much he wanted to be accepted by individuals. Here's a man who has fame, he has wealth, but yet something was missing in his life. He didn't have contentment. And the story, this is a generational story, but I remember Marilyn Monroe. I mean, she had fame, she had fortune, she was celebrity, she was the admiration of our industry, of our world, and she's in our books and history books, but yet she did not have something in her life. Though she had material things, there was something greatly missing. She did not have contentment. The Scripture says, godliness with contentment is great gain. There is a secret to learning to be content with such things as we have. In the book of Hebrews in chapter 13, he said, let your manner of life be without covetousness, and be content with such things as you have. For he said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. We can be content because he will never leave us, and he will never forsake us. He's always there. I think about that, and I picked up this about a stone cutter. It says, there was once a stone cutter who was dissatisfied with himself and with his position in life. One day he passed a wealthy merchant's house. Through the open gateway he saw many fine possessions and important visitors. How powerful that merchant must be, thought the stone cutter. He became very envious and wished that he could be like the merchant. To his great surprise, he suddenly became the merchant, enjoying more luxuries and power than he had imagined, but envied and detested by those less wealthy than himself. Soon a high official passed by carrying a sedan chair, accompanied by attendants and escorted by soldiers beating gongs. Everyone, no matter how wealthy, had to bow low before the procession. How powerful that official is, he thought. I wish that I could be a high official. Then he became the high official, carried everywhere in his embroidered sedan chair, feared and hated by people all around. It was a hot summer day, so the official felt very uncomfortable in the sticky sedan chair. He looked up at the sun. It shone proudly in the sky, unaffected by his presence. How powerful the sun is, he thought. I wish that I could be the sun. Then he became the sun, shining fiercely down on everyone, scorching the fields, cursed by the farmers and laborers. But a huge black cloud covered between him and the earth, so that his light could no longer shine on everything below. How powerful that storm cloud is, he thought. I wish that I could be a cloud. Then he became the cloud, flooding the fields and villages, shouted at by everyone. But soon he found that he was being pushed away by some great force and realized that it was the wind. How powerful it is, he thought. I wish that I could be the wind. Then he became the wind, blowing piles off the roofs of houses, uprooting trees, feared and hated by all below. But after a while, he ran up against something that would not move, no matter how forcefully he blew against it. A huge, towering rock. How powerful that rock is, he thought. I wished I could be a rock. Then he became the rock, more powerful than anything else on earth. But as he stood there, he heard the sound of a hammer pounding a chisel into the hard surface, and he felt himself being changed. What could be more powerful than I, the rock, he thought. He looked down and saw far below him the figure of a stone cutter. All that we could learn to be content with the way God made us and what we are. There's a song. Here's the lyrics to the song. I won't make you have to listen to me sing it, because I don't know the tune. Well, I might actually try to do it. But here's what it says. Life started out like a canvas, and God started painting on me. Then I took the paintbrush from Jesus, and I painted what I wished to see. The colors I painted kept running, and the objects were all out of size. I had made a mess of my painting. My ways now seemed so unwise. So I gave the brush back to Jesus, all the colors, all the pieces so wrong. In the market of the earth it was worthless, but his love made my painting belong. He worked with no condemnation, never mentioned the mess I had made. Then he dipped his brush in his lifeblood, and he signed it. The price has been paid. When I gave the brush back to Jesus, when I gave the brush back to him, he started all over life's canvas to fill when I gave to Jesus the brush of my will. The secret of contentment. Let's give our life to him. Let him do what he will. He can do a much better job than either of us can. My heart's desire, honestly, and my prayer is for everyone in Gray and in Gloucester and the surrounding community, and for everybody who happened to pass through on this particular day, that God will bless each one according to the needs. Always remember this, to cast all your care upon him, because he does care